The Karen trio thought they'd caught a criminal. Instead, they cornered a hero. Their smug faces would soon twist into something else entirely. In the manicured hellscape of Willow Creek Estates, where every lawn was a battlefield and every stranger a suspect, 3 self-appointed guardians of the HOA, Karen, Linda, and Susan, patrolled their turf like hawks circling a carcass. Armed with iPhones, entitlement, and a warped sense of justice, they'd made it their mission to protect the neighborhood from anyone who didn't fit their vision of suburban perfection. Today, their target was Marcus Tate, a black man jogging through the park, his steady strides cutting through their fragile sense of order like a blade. Marcus was no ordinary jogger. A Homeland security agent working an undercover sting. He'd been tracking a smuggling ring operating out of a nearby McMansion. His running gear was a cover, his earpiece relaying intel from his team, his badge tucked discreetly under his jacket. He'd chosen Willow Creek for its proximity to the target, not expecting the neighborhood's unofficial morality police to turn a routine run into a showdown. As he rounded the park's oak-lined path, Karen's voice sliced through the evening air like a siren. "Hey, you! Stop right there!" she barked, her phone already recording, her blonde bob bouncing with righteous indignation. Marcus slowed, his breath steady but his pulse quickening. He scanned the 3 women approaching Karen, the ringleader, with her yoga pants and a glare that could curdle milk. Linda, clutching a Starbucks cup like a grenade, and Susan, whose nervous fidgeting betrayed her role as the reluctant follower. "Can I help you?" Marcus asked, his tone calm but laced with an edge that only someone trained to defuse bombs could wield. Karen stepped closer, undeterred. "You don't live here," she accused, her voice dripping with certainty. "We've had break-ins and you're running around like you own the place. Show me some ID. Now." The air thickened with tension, the kind that hums before a storm breaks. Marcus's jaw tightened. He'd faced down cartel enforcers and border smugglers, but this was a different kind of threat. It wasn't just about him. It was about every black man who'd ever been questioned for existing in the wrong space. "I'm just jogging," he said, his voice low, deliberate. "I don't owe you my ID." Linda chimed in, her voice shrill. "We're protecting our community. You could be anyone." Susan, quieter but no less complicit, nodded, her eyes darting between Marcus and the ground. Karen's phone was now inches from Marcus's face, her live stream already racking up views from the neighborhood's private Facebook group. "See this?" she said to her audience, her voice a mix of triumph and venom. "This is what we're dealing with. Suspicious behavior. Refusing to cooperate." Marcus's earpiece crackled. His team was listening, urging him to de-escalate. But de-escalation wasn't in Karen's playbook. She stepped closer, her finger jabbing the air. "You're not going anywhere until the police get here," she declared, already dialing 911 on speakerphone. The operator's voice cut through. "What's the emergency?" Karen's response was immediate, laced with rehearsed panic. "There's a suspicious black male in our neighborhood park. He's refusing to identify himself. We feel threatened." Marcus's eyes narrowed, his training warring with the rage bubbling inside. He could flash his badge, end this now, but that would blow his cover. Months of work, lives on the line, all jeoparded in the balance because 3 women decided he didn't belong. He took a step back, hands raised slightly to signal peace, but Karen saw it as defiance. "See? He's aggressive," she shouted to her phone, her followers flooding the comments with emojis of sirens and clenched fists. Linda, emboldened, tossed her coffee cup to the ground, the brown liquid splattering like a challenge. "You're scaring us," she lied, her voice cracking with the thrill of power. The distant wail of sirens grew louder, and Marcus's mind raced. His team was monitoring, but protocol demanded he stay in character. He couldn't risk the mission, not when they were this close to busting the ring. But the women's accusations were a lit fuse, and the approaching police, likely unaware of his status, could escalate this into something deadly. "Ladies," he said, his voice steady but urgent, "you're making a mistake. I'm not who you think I am." Susan hesitated, her eyes flickering with doubt, but Karen was relentless. "Oh, we know exactly who you are," she sneered, her words a dog whistle to her audience. The police cruiser pulled up, 2 officers stepping out with hands on holsters. The crowd, now a handful of neighbors drawn by the commotion, watched from a safe distance, phones out, filming the spectacle. Marcus's earpiece buzzed. "Hold tight, Marcus. Backup's en route." But time was slipping. The officers approached, one barking, "Sir, step back and show me your hands." Marcus complied, his movements slow, deliberate, every muscle screaming restraint. Karen, still filming, narrated like a war correspondent. "This is what happens when you don't follow the rules," she said, her voice smug. Then the tide shifted. A black SUV roared into the park, its doors flying open as 3 agents in tactical gear spilled out, badges flashing. "Homeland Security," one shouted. "Stand down." The officers froze, hands off their weapons. Karen's phone wavered, her live stream capturing her jaw dropping as the lead agent, a woman with steel in her eyes, strode toward Marcus. "Agent Tate, you good?" she asked, ignoring the women. Marcus nodded, his face unreadable, as he finally pulled his badge from under his jacket, the silver glinting like a rebuke. The crowd gasped. Karen's phone slipped slightly, her followers' comments exploding with confusion. Linda's face drained of color, her coffee cup now a pathetic relic of her bravado. Susan stammered, We didn't know." The lead agent turned to them, her voice cold. "You didn't ask. You assumed." Marcus, now flanked by his team, looked at the women, his gaze heavy with the weight of countless similar moments. "You thought you were protecting your neighborhood," he said quietly. "But you were just protecting your prejudice." The officers, now briefed, stepped back, their faces a mix of embarrassment and relief. The neighbors dispersed, some muttering apologies, others slinking away in silence. Karen, Linda, and Susan stood frozen, their power evaporating under the glare of truth. The live stream was still running, broadcasting their humiliation to a now silent audience. The wooden bench nearby, with its handwritten sign, "Justice or Judgment," a tale of truth, seemed to mock them, its words etched like a verdict. Marcus didn't gloat. He didn't need to. He jogged off, his mission intact, leaving the women to face the wreckage of their assumptions. But the sting lingered, not just for them, but for him. He'd won this round, but the war against snap judgments was far from over. His earpiece crackled again. "Good work, Tate. Let's finish this." He nodded to himself, his strides picking up, carrying him back into the shadows of his duty. The aftermath was bitter. Karen's video went viral, but not in the way she'd hoped. The internet tore her apart, her name synonymous with everything wrong with suburban vigilantism. Linda deleted her social media, unable to face the backlash. Susan, the weakest link, posted a tearful apology, but it was drowned out by the noise. The neighborhood, once a fortress of self-righteous unity, fractured under the weight of its own shame. And Marcus? He closed the smuggling case a week later, saving lives while the HOA licked its wounds. Yet the story didn't end cleanly. Marcus carried the encounter like a scar, a reminder that even heroes can be reduced to suspects in the wrong eyes. The women, meanwhile, grappled with their public fall, some doubling down, others retreating into silence. The park bench's sign was removed, but its question lingered, haunting Willow Creek's pristine streets. What would you have done in that moment? Stood with Marcus or the HOA? Where do you draw the line between vigilance and venom?